Welcome back to the Live Out Loud Show. I'm your host, Brooke Thomas, and today is a celebration. We are more than halfway through the year. And what is happening in the Live Out Loud Elite Mastermind, the Queen's Table membership, Ignite membership, I am blown away and I'm so excited. And I do think, and I do believe that we must celebrate our success. A lot of times the reason why I get women in the room, the reason why I do these lavish retreats at my home for my Elite Mastermind ladies, I've got different things that we do at the retreats. There's always a component of rest, relaxation, and celebration, because what is the point of working so hard and doing all the things and going to the next level and increasing income to increase impact if you can't celebrate where you were and where you are now and where you're going? And a couple of years ago in the mastermind, we started to really dial in by tracking everyone's success. I think it's so important as a woman in business to know your numbers, to track month over month what you're doing and why, and how you're doing and why, and having accountability at the highest level. When you invest in yourself, you should have accountability. And accountability doesn't have to be like micromanagement. I don't like to be micromanaged. I don't like to micromanage people, but I love to hold people accountable to their goals. I love to pull out the greatness and remind women especially how important it is to know your numbers and to know where you're at, where you're going, where you've been, and to evaluate and understand what is possible, why you might be up, why you might be down. And some people, listen, it's business. We have ups and downs. We go through different seasons and different cycles. And it is so important to talk about this in every business I've ever had, ever led. I've always talked about the long game of business. You can't quit on a bad day. You have to have conviction as strong as steel, because you've got to understand what it takes to actually grow. And that's why it's so incredible to have so many different businesses represented. Just in the Live Out Loud Elite Mastermind alone, we have over 15 industries that are represented. We have brick and mortar businesses, online businesses, products and services, real estate investing, real estate agents, tax strategy, financial management, legal, dental, optometry, recruiting, staffing, gym owners, franchise brokers, restaurant owners, coaching, network marketing, nonprofits, insurance, leadership, and more. I mean, it is so incredible. And you know what I love the most? Women are from all over, north, south, east, and west in the United States. And then a couple of years ago, we went global. We have women in Australia, the UK, Germany, and Switzerland representing. It's so amazing. It makes me so happy. And I also love that we have women as young as 29 all the way to 67. I call my 60-year-olds my hot, sexy 60s. And I say that because these women that are in their 60s, and even the ones in their 50s, I'm 40, almost 48, okay? And this is why I love all the different generations, because the women that are in their 50s and 60s, they're on fire. That's why I call them the hot, sexy 60s. They are like the most incredible women, the most wise, powerful women. And when you put them in a space where they're given permission to use their wisdom, to use their voice, to use what God gave them, to pour out, pour in, lead, speak, it's incredible what happens. And so I just wanted to share with you some of the wins, because, I can talk about this all day long. I try to share other people's voices and other people's testimonials. So many women come into this space and they say, wow, it's the best thing I didn't know I needed. How do you explain this? This is so incredible. And I'm like, I don't know. Can you just tell somebody? And, all of our business is by referral. We have, we grow every year, we max out every year, we sell out every year, and it's always by referral. And I take that seriously. I want you to know, in our Elite Mastermind alone, the investment level that we're at in this mastermind, just in the first month of January, okay? Just in the first month of January in this year-long program, there were 26 women that made their entire investment for the whole year back in 1 month. They made either $35,000 all the way to $200,000 in 1 month. And the reason why I bring up numbers, a lot of times people don't like to talk about numbers. I think it is so important. I actually did a video reel on this because I find that so many people do not want to talk about numbers. There are also a lot of coaches and mentors and strategy companies that are okay with you going into debt or they don't want to talk about numbers. They say, oh, we welcome everyone here. Everyone at every level can come. Now, listen, if you know me, I welcome everyone. Come as you are. I love you. I've got a place for you everywhere. If you are not at six figures yet, you can join my Ignite membership. It's $97 a month. And that is the best place for you. If you can't even afford that, then I encourage you to get my book or listen to the podcast or follow me on Instagram. Or there's so many other things that I point to that are incredible. But that is like such a great starting point, because if you're not at six figures yet, it doesn't make sense for you to invest in yourself at a high level to be in a group where women are building and they're already at multiple six figures to seven figures, right? Now, here's the caveat. I do believe that you should invest in yourself to be in a higher level room if you are committed to growing, if you have somebody that will invest in you, if you know that you'll do the thing to grow the thing, because if you work it, it will work. But there's so many people that will say things like, we don't talk about numbers here, or we invite everybody at all levels. And I just think that can be a little dangerous when you want to really make sure that the people that are in the group are having the conversations that are able to grow each other and collaborate and connect. It's very difficult to have somebody that's at, multiple six to seven figures talking about their business. I mean, every level of business, when you're at, 100 to 250, 250 to 500, 500 to a million plus, there's just different levels of conversations. And I don't mean that in any way to make anyone feel a certain way, but let's be real about business. And if we're really going to collaborate and connect, you've got to be able to have these conversations that make sense, right? So again, there is always a caveat. We do always have a handful of women that are rebuilding, building something new, and maybe they're not at that level yet, but they get it. They understand. They want to be in the room where people are, and they're willing to do the work. So that's the caveat there. Or they've built businesses other places, so they have, the income or the finances to do it. And the reason why I like to talk about numbers is we have to be honest that money is our currency, right? Money is our currency. And that's how we create an increase and make an impact. This is how we become hope to the hopeless. If you have the opportunity to grow income, to grow money, you should talk about it and do it. And then you should be generous with it. So not only did we have 26 Live Out Loud Elite members make their entire investment back in 1 month, the first month, but we had 9 Live Out Loud Elite members that are generating six figures per month. Now, the reason why I say that is because I have a higher level group called the Queen's Table. That's a smaller group. And that's for, multiple million to hundreds of millions. And a couple of them have even done billions in sales. And again, the reason why I mention that is everything about these women are so lovely and generous and kind and incredible. And these are women that any woman can look at and go, wow, God, I see my story in them. Or, wow, God, if you could do it for her, you could do it for me. These are women that all grew something from their passion, their heart. A lot of them were even in ministry before or in another career or business, and they had an opportunity and they ran with it. And they're just so incredible. And the reason why I give you these numbers is like, we only have in the Elite Mastermind about 58 women. We'll take up to 65 max right now. We used to just only go to 40, then we went to 50. Now we're at like 65 max because it's such a good number for collaborations and connections and networking. So when I tell you these numbers, to have that many women, back in the day, because I've been doing this for almost a decade, we would have like one woman that would reach that and we would all celebrate. But the more consistent you are and the more trustworthy you are, the more the group grows, it becomes cumulative growth. And more women see what's possible. I remember when we wrote our first Love Out Loud check to Hearts for Moms, the very first check that we donated, and it was $33,300. And I remember thinking, wow, that is so much. Oh my goodness. It was so hard to get that to that number. And we did it in a couple of weeks. So, I think that was pretty good. But when we wrote a $300,000 check, and we know we've written almost like we're at like 750,000. So our goal is to get to 1 million. When you keep seeing what's possible, you're able to keep pushing and seeing what else is possible. And that's what it's all about, because we believe in miracles. We believe in growth. We believe in impact. And so we have over just want you to think about this. Just from the reports. Now, not everybody fills out a report, but just from our reports alone, we had over $8 million in revenue in this Elite Mastermind group, not even counting Queen's Table group, from January to April. And again, I'm sharing these numbers because people ask me all the time, and I was always like this in network marketing too. Be really cautious of people that talk about numbers, but they're not willing to show you the evidence. Early on, I've been in network marketing for 15 years as well. I've grown to the top of 2 different organizations, to the very top. Like, I'm talking like the first company, I was Global Distributor of the Year, fastest, youngest growing team. And the company I'm in now, we have over 300,000 people underneath us. I grew to the top. I'm a founder in that company and grew to the top very quickly. And I'm only telling you this because I believe in being transparent. I believe in telling the truth. I believe in growing from an integrous place and really loving people well and not being jealous, not being offended, not backstabbing, not talking about people. That's half the battle to grow. Successful people don't have time for that. And so if you could just master that, I promise you'll be successful. And, and I know somebody that's listening is nodding their head going, yes, amen, sister, say it, because it's true. And what I want to tell you is early on when I was getting recruited for network marketing, I remember, people telling me how much their checks were. And I would just say, can I see it? Can I see your check? Because that sounds like a lot. That's amazing. Can I see it? And most of the people would not show me because they weren't telling the truth. And I just always remember being like, if I do this, I'm going to show people the check. Even if I don't get to that number, I would rather say, this is what's possible. I can show you somebody else's check. I'm not there yet, but I believe I will be. That's what I tell people to do. Tell the truth, So same thing with this. This is why I'm going through this with you, because if you are interested at all in any of my programs, if you're interested at all in growing and investing in yourself and collaborating and connecting, I want you to always know what's happening here. We lead with our faith. We make God our CEO, but there is true success happening. There's true breakthrough on a spiritual level that's happening. There's Acts 2 moments that are going on, if you know what I mean. There's baptisms. There's women being set free from shame and trauma and drama and all the things that they've been carrying, and they're letting it go once and for all. They're leading and they're rising up and they're using their voices, and all of that matters. That is the key to growing financially, growing your business, seeing and hearing clearly. And it's just amazing when you have other women that are linking arms with you, sharing their wisdom, sharing their expertise. And so some of the other things that happen, I just want to leave you with this. We have so many women that are running more than one business, but just in the past 6 months, we have had women that are launching podcasts, books that are being published, nonprofits that are being created, top industry specific awards being won. I mean, not just by one person, several. Highest revenue months reached ever. Women that are doing business together, team members that are being hired, women that are moving into new company headquarters, retreats and live events that are being hosted based on like what they see us doing. And again, if you're in this family of Live Out Loud, we lift the veil, we show, we give. There's always a big give and a big ask. Like there's always room to ask what you need, and there's always room to give your talents and your treasure and your time. Like that's what's so amazing when you're in a group where you actually can be free to give and serve and lead and share, in a group where you can have instant market research for people that want you to win. And you can ask, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? Will you share it? Will you give me a 5-star review? Will you tell me if you would buy it? Why not? Like you're not getting offended. That's like instant market research. You can go to any marketing company that you want, but do you get instant market research from people that are probably your market that you can ask and they'll tell you why they would or wouldn't buy it? And then you can tweak from there. I mean, that's like priceless. And then, the other thing that has happened is we've gone international, which is really incredible because I had a word spoken over me, a prophecy from a pastor back in 2020 that said this, everything that's happening right now was going to happen. And I just want to encourage you to hold on to words and prayers and prophecies and just pray into it, ask God to do it. And here's the deal. Not only did all that happen and new courses and programs being launched and so much more, but the biggest thing I always want to say is I have gotten to a place of such confidence and being unapologetic to even share things like this because I don't have to take the credit. I give God all the honor, glory, and praise. I have been praying for over a decade for God to bring me the women from the north and south and east and west, and He does. I ask Him to put my name on the hearts of the people that I'm supposed to do life and business with, and He does. And I encourage all of my women, my ladies, my family, my Live Out Loud network to do the same. And it is so amazing to see what happens. And so I just wanted to celebrate my women. I wanted to celebrate this business. I wanted to celebrate all of you that are listening and just kind of tell you what's possible. And if you're in this community, you know. If you know, you know. And you're always welcome back into this community, even if you take a little hiatus, you know. I'm not the type of person that shuts the door on anybody. Everyone is always welcome. And we have such incredible things happening. When I say everyone's always welcome, let me say this again, though. There is an application process and we want to connect with you. And I have people on my team that will connect with you because, again, we're not just going to say, yes, jump in. We do interview. We do look at your application because we want to put you in the right place. I have 3 different places that you could potentially fit into. And if you're not ready for any of them, I just want to say, please keep listening to the podcast. Read my book. Let it encourage you. Read the Bible. Listen to worship music. Like, let's do this. Follow me on Instagram, let's do this. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope that you hear the excitement of what's happening. And I hope that if you're somebody looking for something like this, where it's time for you to invest in yourself, it's time for you to get yourself in the room. We do 2 retreats a year, one at the Ritz Laguna Niguel in sunny, amazing California, and one in Palm Beach. It's so incredible to get in the room, but in between we're connecting. We don't believe in a slow summer or a slow second half of the year. That's why it's so fun and exciting to celebrate what has happened over the first half of the year. But the second half of the year, we're like, game on, let's go. Because we don't buy into, oh, this is a slow season, that's a slow season. We're always building and growing and creating what God's given us. And it's like our greatest pleasure, our greatest honor and gift to do that. If you love what you do, it's like amazing. You don't have to, feel like you're grinding it out. It's just like exciting. So let's get you up and going if that's you. So everything's in my show notes if you want to connect. Thank you for listening and thank you for celebrating. If you know anybody that is in this program, congratulate them, ask them, and I always say, listen, different seasons call for different things, but I will guarantee this. We have 5 activations. Business, okay, we want you to activate your business, your faith, your network, your habits, and your skills. Those are the 5 areas that we really focus on. I will guarantee you that every single person that has come through my network, these mastermind programs, coaching programs, mentorship programs, absolutely 1000%, no doubt in my mind that every single woman has at least at minimum gone to the next level or activated or grown in one of those 5 areas, if not all 5, but at least one. And that's worth it alone. So let me know what you think about this podcast. And we would love to connect with you. All the information's in the show notes. And I'm really looking forward to connecting with you. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. Before you go, I have something really special for you. My brand new book, Activate Your Impact, A Guide to Living Out Loud in Business, Life, and Faith, is officially an international bestseller, and I want you to get your hands on it. If you're ready to break free from fear, build with bold faith, and walk confidently in your God-given calling, this book was written for you. Inside, I walk you through 12 powerful activations to help you step into your purpose, expand your influence, and finally live the abundant life God prepared for you. And when you grab your copy, guess what? I have, of course, 3 incredible free bonuses too. I have been getting so much feedback about all of the bonuses in this book. I'm so grateful to share this with you. Your next level of impact is waiting. Do not wait. Click the link in the show notes below or just search Activate Your Impact on Amazon to get your copy today.